Hello, and welcome back to another episode on Farming Simulator 25. Well, we're starting a little bit earlier than normal here in June. We have a lot of work to do, mostly because I already did it, and apparently my hard drive was full, so none of it got recorded. So here we go, take two. I'm going to try to repeat exactly what I did the first time, hopefully a little bit more efficiently, but it's going to be rough. I did two different spinach harvests almost simultaneously, and that was a little bit more than I wanted to do. But I'm going to do it again because I'm a glutton for punishment. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do starting this episode, I'm only allowed to do 2 contracts on the background with workers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this stone picking contract. I know in the past I said I didn't want to do one because I didn't have anything to do with the stone. There's no place to sell it, and I don't have a cement factory yet in order to utilize it. But I realized that the mod that I have for the silo holds more than just grain. It holds pretty much everything, even stone. So I can do the stone contract and dump the stone in there, which means basically once I have a cement factory, I'll be able to grab that stone and then pick it up and bring it to a cement factory from my silo. I'll start doing these probably in the background because they are relatively slow. It's not bad if I get the larger stone picker, but this is definitely a long project. But I'll also be doing some of the rock breaking ones as well, just to kind of start stockpiling on stone, so that way once we do get a cement factory, I have plenty of stone to throw into it right away. I know you can purchase the rock crusher production, which produces stone for you for free, but it takes a while for it to kind of build up enough that you can feed the cement factory. Alright, that's going there. We'll eventually bring down the trailer for it to dump into as well. And while we're waiting for that, we'll start the worker on a second contract. And this will be the only other contract that the worker can do in the background, which is going to be this spinach harvesting. Definitely have to borrow the machine since we don't have a harvester. But one of the things I was looking at, and I'm genuinely interested in planting spinach. So it looks like you can only plant it in March, April, and May, but you can harvest it throughout the year. So I'm wondering, is it like the poplar and is it like the grass that, every couple months or every 3-4 months it fills up and you can harvest it again? That way you get, you don't have to keep worrying about tilling the land and changing the crops. That sounds kind of cool. I'd like to try it at some point, but that's going to be way down the road purely because the machines are so expensive. Alright, so we have that set. We'll grab over here and get this one going as well. Enter the vehicles. This one we got. Well, actually, let me do this. Let's set up the worker to drive over there. Let's create a job. Field work. Take the target position, put it onto the field. Click the direction. Click Z for start work, and that's going to do its thing. While that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and bring this smaller tractor over to the stone field, so that way it's easily accessible, and then I'll come back and bring the big one over to the spinach. Now, one of the things that I haven't tried with the workers, but I do want to try it this time around, is when the worker is dragging a trailer behind it, it gives you the option to drive to a tipping point, tip the trailer, and come back in what it says as a loop. So I'm really curious about what that's like and if it's going to work or not. And we'll get to try it this time. I didn't see that until the very end of last time, so I was going to try it in the next episode. But since apparently I get to redo my episode, we'll get to try this one. Drive back real quick and grab the other one and bring the trailer over to the other field, and then I'm going to grab a contract for myself. So I'm going to do a quick jump cut until I'm going off to, I believe it's a hoeing contract that looked really profitable. So you guys will see me in just a little bit, or I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, here we are. We're heading over to the field 12 to start the hoeing contract there. Unfortunately, in June, there didn't seem to really be a lot of things that I can do on my farm, at least not yet. I'm hoping that once we get, well, 1, more land, and 2, some livestock, that I'll be able to fill in those empty months in June, and I believe it was December or January where I just didn't really have much to do. But that's alright, we'll load up with contracts, so at least, we can make some income for the month, as well as give me something to do. Now I'm going to head over to field 12 and then go ahead and do that contract. So I'll see you when I'm done. Took a quick break from the contract as I realized we need to flood the rice paddies, and I believe this is the last time we have to do it. If I read it properly, you need to flood the rice paddy before you can plant, and then you need to flood it 2 more times, so in the following 2 months, so that it can be fully grown. So we're going to do that really quick, and then I'm going to hop back into our white tractor and bring it down to the field so that I can attach the trailer for the stone picking. Alright, and we'll hop back on our regularly scheduled time lapse. I'll see you when we're done. Welcome back. We just finished the contract on field 12. So I was always interested in, should I do the extra bits after the contract is done? You know, like would it not be done after I finished or turned in the contract? But once you turn in the contract, it automatically fills in the entire field as though it is done. So in that case, I'm just going to go ahead and head off to the next field, which is field 36. I think at the farm, the only thing left to do is I need to go fill in our small sawmill with some extra trees. On my first attempt, after both fields of spinach, I did not have time to load the pallets and go sell them, so I was just going to hold off until the next episode. I'm hoping that my efficiency is high enough, since this is the second time, that I'll still be able to do it, but we shall see. I'm not going to count on it, because I do know how daunting of a task it is to do 2 big spinach fields. But what I do want to see is if we can fill up the trailer for the spinach a little bit more real quick. And then I want to see how it works, sending it out to empty the trailer and come back. We'll do that in just a little bit. I'm just about to field 36, which is this one right here in front of us. And real quick before I forget, I do want to do 2 headlands. It makes it just a tad bit easier to kind of turn around and hit the straight lines a little bit more aggressively. Alright, let's see if we can fill this up real quick. Where are we? There we are. Figure might as well fill the trailer up as much as we can before we attempt to go tip it. I'm not sure if you guys kind of like the pauses in between the time lapses or not. Or just kind of, I don't know, run them straight, no pause. But I definitely did want to check this out and see how it works. Alright, let's hop over here next to the road. I want to make sure, I think this is going to the Harbor Grain Elevator. Let's check our contracts. Harvesting. Yes, to the Harbor Grain Elevator. So now that I'm in the tractor with the trailer, I want to create a job. Here we go. So now I get the option to deliver. I want to go to the Harbor Grain Elevator. Here we go. So loading position is already set. It's set for looping. So that means that it should drive there, empty it, and then come back. Let's start the job. Let's see how this works. Awesome. But I'm going to time-lapse this. I'm going to kind of hang out for the ride. I just want to see what it does and how it works, since this is the first time I've ever tried it. Welcome back. We are just about ready to finish this contract here, and we'll be done with the hoeing. There it is, it's done. If you followed along when I guess followed the driver there, he was able, or she at that time, was able to deliver the spinach, tip it, and drive back. The only problem I've seen so far is that when the worker comes back and park, they stay in the trailer. So you're paying them the whole time while they're just hanging out. So you got to make sure you keep an eye on that and turn them off. Last time it drove in the most convoluted path I've seen. This time, hopefully it's a little bit quicker, but if it would have been quicker, it would have followed the road along the shore or the ocean. I'm going to turn in these two hoeing contracts that we just finished and see if that secondary spinach contract finished up. Alright, let's turn that in. So the first one is 16,000 profit. That's awesome. And the second one is almost 9. Let's see if the harvesting one came in. And it did. And right here is where I bit off way more than I could chew the first time around, but I'm determined to do it again. So obviously I will borrow the items. And let's hop over there and set it all up. Set destination. And then we'll hop out and I'll connect the trailer to the tractor and follow it. Good. This one's good. This one is... I'm not sure if this is G or not. It must be because there was no AI worker in here. Maybe it was too close and it couldn't turn. I don't know. But while we're here, I'll go ahead and deliver this. Now, while I was following the AI worker to deliver, I noticed they ran over signs just as much as I did. I'm gonna go ahead and deliver this, drop it back off at the field, and then start my own spinach harvesting contract. I shall see you when we get back with the time lapse. Welcome back. So we finally finished that second spinach harvest or contract, and I was really worried that we were going to run out of time and it was going to start raining before I could finish, so I slowed the time down until I realized that we were going to make it. So this is my second time I've done both of those harvests back to back, and boy oh boy, once again it just hammered in the fact that this is a contract that should really be done with a worker and then me shuttling the cargo back and forth. We're taking a scenic tour because we need to pick up 2 collectibles. This first collectible is right here, just under this bridge. Kind of the second bridge, not the big one by the harbor elevator, but the smaller one right here to the east of Field 80. And we have one more to pick up as well that's going to be along the coast. So we'll drive over there real quick. Now on the plus side, doing both of those spinach harvests, I think both of them got me just about 20,000 liters of extra spinach just from the harvest, which is just phenomenal. Because of the amount and I think the profit that could be made, I'm going to buy one of those small canning factories, place it down, and then have the spinach bagged so that we can sell it to the market. I think it will make enough money that it will easily cover the cost of buying that small canning factory. And then we should be able to make an extra profit on top of that as well. So this next one is here along the cliff. And you can see where I'm at, just kind of below the bend here that goes along the scenic drive along the shore. Right next to our farm, to be honest. We're going to go ahead and drop this off into the silo. Actually, I think it'd probably be better if I went ahead and placed the canning factory and then went ahead and dumped this into it, so that way it can start producing right away. Our oats are looking really good. I believe they're ready to harvest next episode or in July. Rice is looking good. I'm glad I remembered to flood it, otherwise that would have sucked. And let's drop a canning factory down. Put it right here next to the grain mill. Preserved food factory. I'm going to leave enough room here on the left to ensure that we have enough room to bring a trailer in there and still dump. I hate it when it drops the asphalt on my already perfectly tiled farmyard. That's okay, easy enough to fix. This should give us some extra pallets to be selling, though I think to make the most profit for it, I'll have to just let the pallets stack up until the best year, or the best month, I'm sorry, to sell it at. So I'll just hold on to those until it's the most profitable. And like I was saying, as gnarly as the contracts are to do, I think one contract on a worker with me shuttling spinach back and forth is very doable. Just doing both of them, back to back, to where I was also, trying to harvest and empty trailers is pretty brutal, especially since the spinach harvester is rather slow and has such a tiny header. If I had a bigger header, it'd be easy. Let's check out the greenhouses real quick. They're doing all right on water. We can leave them alone until next episode. The mushroom greenhouse is fine as well. And the rice is probably going to be the easiest. That barely uses any water. Before we end the episode, I will fill this small sawmill with some trees since it looks like it's getting a little low. And the big one or the medium one is fine. Let's turn in these contracts since we finished it and we were able to keep quite a bit of extra spinach. Those are some fantastic contracts. I mean, the profit from that was awesome. Not to mention what we should be able to make after the spinach gets bagged up and thrown on pallets. Well, once again, I don't believe we have enough time left over to go ahead and throw pallets, the greenhouse pallets on and deliver them. So we'll just save that for the next episode. We'll go ahead and fill these the sawmill real quick, and then we'll take a quick look at our finance and see how we did for the month, and then we'll call it a day. Awesome, that all went in. Let's check it out now. Small sawmill, almost full. Perfect. That would be it. Let's just double check. July is going to be harvest for the canola like I thought, and for the oats as well. Then August will be harvest for the rice. September looks like we can plant barley and wheat, which we will, so that we can continue to feed a grain mill. On to the finances and see how we did for the month. We did not buy any new vehicles, not for lack of looking. I've been keeping my eye open for a trailer that we could use, as well as a baler that can go on sale, because since we're harvesting grain, we're going to have straw that we need to bale up and pick up. We did buy a little canning factory, so we spent $36,000 there. We spent $239 on productions. We have a harvest income of $1,499, which was just some of the extra spinach that ended up going in after we finished our contracts. Contract income of $77,122. That's just awesome. Though we spent a whopping $3,000 on wage payments for the AI workers. The amount of time it takes to harvest the spinach is pretty considerable. Plus, I had the stone picking, which also takes a while. It was going to be expensive. We made $20,000 from picking up 2 collectibles. We have 3 collectibles left, and that's it for the month. I thought we did pretty good, and I was very happy to get quite a bit of extra spinach. So we have another 19,000 of it sitting in our silo. And, oh, I didn't even turn it on. I'm glad I looked. Reserve food factory, spinach bag. Let's activate this, and we're sitting on 23,355 liters of spinach in this factory as well. So we'll be able to fill it up again after this runs out just about, which is awesome. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time.